Greetings and salutations. Welcome on this beautiful day of, what is it, 3/23/23, right? 3/23/23? Welcome to LoveCast 140. There's a black man with a black cat living in a black neighborhood. He's got an interstate running through his front yard. You know what they say? He's got it so good. And there's a woman in the kitchen cleaning up the evening slide. And he looks at her and he says, "Hey, darling, I remember when you could stop a cloud, but ain't that America for you and me? Ain't that America something to see, baby? Ain't that America home of the free? Hey, little pink houses for you and me. Ooh, for you and me. Ooh, yeah. There's a young man in a t-shirt, listen to a rock and roll station. He's got crazy hair and crazy smile. He says, "Lord, this must be my destination." 'Cause they told me when I was younger, they said, "Boy, you're gonna be president." But just like everything else, those old crazy dreams kinda came and went. Oh, but ain't that America for you and me? Ain't that America something to see, baby? Ain't that America on the free? Hey, little pink houses for you and me. Ooh, for you and me. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Well, there's people and more people. What do they know? No. Go to work in some high rise and vacation down the Gulf of Mexico. And there's winners and there's losers, but that ain't no big deal. 'Cause the simple man, baby, pays for thrills, the bills, the pills that kill. Oh, but ain't that America for you and me? Ain't that America something to see, baby? Ain't that America on the free? Hey, little pink houses for you. Ain't that America, you and me? Ain't that America something to see, baby? Ain't that America on the free? Little pink houses for you and me. Oh, for you and me. Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. All right. Welcome. Got the John Mellencamp rasp going on in my voice. But it is just on account of simple exhaustion. Yeah, so I was actually at a spot where there's a guy I'm making an audiobook for last weekend that was like, hey, when are you going to get those changes and those revisions in? And at the time, my voice was so trashed. Not because there was anything wrong with my voice. I wasn't like injured vocally or anything like that. But I was just so exhausted this last weekend that talking, everything I said sounded like David Bowie in like "Put on your red shoes and dance the blues," like that that Ethel Merman sort of voice. And so like I can't do any punch ins, man, because it's not gonna match anything around it. It's gonna go like from this in one sentence down here in the next sentence that needs to be replaced, and then right back up to here for the sentence that follows. I'll get it on Monday. It'll be. And so no, he was cool. It was all right. It worked. He's not in such a big hurry that he wants an inferior product. So let's see who's here. Hello, Craig Jackman, Diana Nicole, Angelica Bolschweiler, Melissa Catano is here. We might have to yell to get her attention. Oh, Melissa, hi. I bet. Are you finishing The Name of the Wind? That is an incredible piece of fiction. I actually have a friend who went to was it Vanderbilt? It was some Ivy League, like New York school for engineering, and she got a B in a thermodynamics class that she otherwise would have gotten an A in, except for the days leading up to the final. She was so enamored with The Name of the Wind that she was just a little understudying, got a B for the semester, finished the book, and maintains to this very day. It was totally worth it. Actually, that was the recommendation by which I read those books. David Benjamin, how you doing, man? So, I'm skipping all over. Amanda's got a rehearsal, so she's not watching tonight. She's Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ Superstar. Okay. Yeah, cool. My mom is here. Hello, Mom. Susan Kuhn, Nick Davila, Svetlana. Hello, Svetlana. Romfarron, Seronafarron. All right. Craig Jackman, how you doing, man? Craig, what are you doing lately? Are you working on the next play or just holding down the day jobs? What are you up to? I'm also kind of gathering my energy and resources for the Polly's Picnic cruise next weekend. Yeah, okay. David's saying Name of the Wind is outstanding, as in it's outstanding on my shelf where it awaits a reread when book 3 comes out. That's the cliche about Name of the Wind, is that Patrick Rothfuss put out a book, and these are long books, by the way. These are epic novels. I mean, these go right up there with like the Odyssey, the Iliad, Moby Dick. They are like, paid by the word, thick things. And Patrick Rothfuss has been forthcoming with the third book in the series for over a decade now. Maybe 20 years, maybe even, it's not 20 years, is it? If anybody knows the date on when he released that second book, put that in the chat. I'm curious. Yeah, cruise is coming up. A week from tomorrow, come to think of it. Yeah, we load onto the boat a week from tomorrow. Okay. David, I think it's pushing 15 years. When I read the first two books and then all the accompanying short stories, they had already been out for a while. And that's been a few years ago now. Hello, Kelsey Blaine Gibson. Also saving energy for the cruise. Yeah. Something tells me I should make the cautious, conscientious call for my sanity and health and say there will be no LoveCast next week, a week from tonight. LoveCast 141 will happen 2 weeks from now, as if I'm not packing and preparing music in an utter panicked sprint, I will be catching up on my rest. And something tells me the latter is a bit more likely than the former. Wait, no, other way around. Anyway. Wise Man's Fear came out in 2011. Okay. Man, yeah, good set of books, though. If you've got curiosity for that science fiction fantasy realm and a few months free to read something epic, check those out. All right. Speaking of weird fantasies, here's a Madonna song I haven't played in a long time. I made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through. I didn't know how lost I was until I found you. I was beat, incomplete. I've been had, I was sad and blue, but you made me feel. Yeah, you made me feel shiny and new, like a virgin touched for the very first time, like a virgin when your heart beats next to mine. Gonna give you all my love, boy. My fear is fading, fade. Been saving it all for you, 'cause only love can last. You so fine, had your mind. You make me strong, yeah, you make me bold. Oh, your love thought yeah, your love thought what was scared and cold, like a virgin, hey, touched for the very first time, like a virgin, with your heartbeat next to mine. Oh, 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 oh. You so fine, and you're mine. I'll be yours till the end of time, 'cause you made me feel. Yeah, you made me feel I got nothing to hide, like a virgin, hey, touched for the very first time, like a virgin, with your heartbeat next to mine like a virgin. Oh, like a virgin. Feels so good inside when you hold me and your heart beats and you love me. Oh, like a virgin. Oh, like a virgin. Oh, like a virgin. Oh, like a virgin. All right, I can. It's been a couple of years. I can almost play that song with a straight face. God, it has been a couple of years. Wow. The 3-year anniversary of the LoveCast is coming up next month. That's bizarre to think about. God, that is so bizarre. I mean, forgive me if I said this recently, maybe even as recently as like last week. I've just been thinking about this a lot lately. It seemed like a decade I was up in Big Bear. I mean, people still like just every now and then message me or text me or something like that and say, "Hey, you still up in Big Bear?" Like, no, man, I've been down for, like over a year now. But yeah, I was up there for 7 seasons, which is a weird way to count things for people in LA because, cliche, LA doesn't have seasons, but Big Bear definitely does. And I was up there for 7 seasons. So yeah, I've been back for, 5 seasons now? So, good God, yeah, I've been back for almost as long as I was up there. I've been back in the span of time that while I was up there this long, I was like contemplating the move back at this point. Yeah. So, David and Amanda are saving up for a summer trip to Yellowstone. Okay, that's lovely. Yeah, I wondered why you guys weren't coming. Didn't actually ask. Yeah, I love thunderstorms also. But in Los Angeles, I don't know, it's like people just aren't quite, people and buildings are not quite prepared for storms like that when they happen here. Every time it rains in LA, especially like lately, you go into a building and like it seems like every building you go into, there are buckets on the floor, there's huge like leaks because some leak developed in the in the ceiling since now and the previous time that it actually rained, and nobody noticed that the ceiling needs to be maintained. Yeah, the tornado in Montebello is just blowing my mind. I mean, that is some like quintessential Midwestern shit right there. We don't get tornadoes in Southern California, but damn. Had one recently. All right. So, here's a Neil Young song, Out of the Blue. Colors on the street, red, white, and blue. People shuffling their feet sleeping in their shoes. There's a warning sign on the road ahead. There's a lot of people saying we'd be better off dead. Don't feel like Satan, but I am to them. So I try to forget it any way I can. Keep on rocking in the free world. 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 I see a woman in the night with a baby in her hand under an old street light near a garbage can. Now she puts the kid away and she's gonna get ahead. She hates this life and once she's done with it, there's one more kid that'll never go to school, never get to fall in love, never get to be cool. Keep on rocking in the free world. 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 Got 1,000 points of light for the homeless man. We got a kind of gentle machine gun hand. We got department stores and toilet paper, styrofoam boxes for the ozone layer. Got a man for the people, says keep hope alive. Got fuel to burn, got roads to drive. Keep on rocking in the free world. 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 Yeah. Senior Young. Hello, Kathy B. Told my tornado story last night when I was about 6. It was a huge tornado in Fargo, yeah? The Fujita scale didn't exist then, but it was later put at a 5, which was the highest then. Yeah, they call the 5 the finger of God. Quite dramatically. Let's see, did somebody else pop in while I was Carol. Oh, yeah. Mark and Carol. Hello, Mark and Carol. Good to see you all. All right. So, I do want to take a second right here to thank the folks that threw into the virtual tip jar last week for LoveCast 139. Those folks were Miss Terry Smith, Emily Thatcher, and one anonymous donor. Thank you all very much for, again, keeping the lights on. It is extraordinarily valued and appreciated. Thank you very much. Whoa, I was crazy out of focus there, and man, here I thought I was being all disciplined in life. All right, where are we going to go from here? No, I'm going to play this one. So, yeah, I've just been kind of... I get introspective, I suppose, when I get too exhausted, and I don't know. I was saying, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, that it's strange to be nostalgic about that time in the pandemic. Hey, Nathan, Rita, how you doing? It's a little strange to be nostalgic about that time in the pandemic, but as Mom pointed out, it wasn't all bad, and as several other people pointed out, that's literally why we have the Vaudacity network and this wonderful family. And I don't know, you just, sometimes you still get like nostalgic about in parallel. I suppose it's okay to get nostalgic about people that have been in your life in the past that it wasn't, that you're actually like better off without, but you do miss the good things. Oh man, this would be a great intro to the Beatles song "In My Life." Wish I would have thought of that. Hey, Casey Harper. Lovely to see you. But I don't know, this this song came across my internal radio station today when I was doing something very much along those lines of like missing the people you shouldn't. I guess, yeah, it's more like missing the people that you know it's your life is better off this way, but there's still like those emotional things that you kind of like, oh, that would fill that emotional blank spot in the middle of the night kind of thing, even though it's not something that we'd rationally wish to have back. Hey, Zach White. All right, so yeah, I think I did just play this like a month or two ago, but once more back around. This is "Love Song" by The Cure. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am whenever I'm alone with you. You make me feel like I am whole again. However far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, I will always love you. I will always love you. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am young again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am fun again. However far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, I will always love you. I will always love you. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am free again. Whenever I'm alone with you, you make me feel like I am clean again. However far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, I will always love you. I will always love you. However far away, I will always love you. However long I stay, I will always love you. Whatever words I say, I will always love you. I will always love you. Thank you. Oh man, I'm just in time to see the thing in the chat. There was a shooting in Arlington. Is that right? It was in Arlington? Zach is saying up near Six Flags. Entertainment industry district. It's still being fully investigated. Sad situation. Kid that did it was under 17. Well, shit. Yeah, man. That's I don't know. Yeah, I don't. It makes me think of this. I don't know what the solution looks like, so I'm not gonna extol an opinion that would make its way into an Oscars speech here, but I did have a conversation, a really interesting conversation, a number of years ago with a British lady, an Indian lady, and I was the quintessential American in the group. And so to give you the historical background that we were all extremely aware of, almost the elephant in the room, except that we were all just very comfortably, intellectually comfortable with each other and with the history, is that India was colonized by the UK. And similarly, exactly how, we had in the United States, our history began as British colonies, very analogously. So the thing that worked for us as a culture isn't necessarily the optimal solution. It's just what worked for us, and it was armed rebellion. Right? We picked up guns and we fought for our freedom. Now, they were single-shot muskets, so I don't know that this actually holds as any kind of should-be moral analogy to today. It's just historically what is written into our culture as to what worked at the time a couple hundred years ago. Now, of course, there's no modern, fully automatic AK-47 that is going to keep anyone safe from a drone armed with missiles if the government is truly out to get you. So I don't know that this conversation really applies to our modern situation or predicament. I'm only addressing the history here. And in the context of the conversation, that's also what I did. The Indian lady, by brilliant and wonderful juxtaposition, pointed out that the thing that worked for their history and culture is to just peacefully wait it out. And eventually, Britain said, "Yeah, let's give it back." And economic ties and interests stayed in place, as capitalism will do, of course. But the government in the UK went from this position of make the world Britain to we gave everything back except the soggy bits that we started out with, which is kind of a strange foreign policy when you really think about it, but it is the thing that was quite justifiable. And yeah, I don't know. I'm always I always reflect on that conversation in conversations of gun violence in our modern world in North America, and yeah, I don't know what the solution looks like. I just understand why this is so ingrained into United States American thinking. Is it really worked for us once a couple hundred years ago when that approach was applicable. So, on to a lighter subject. Here's an Elton John song. but very glad you're okay, Zach. Blue jean baby, hey lady, seamstress for the babe. Pretty eyes, pirate smile, the merry music man, ballerina, you must have seen her dancing in the sea. Now she's in me, always with me, tiny dancing in my head. Oh, I feel so real, lying here, nobody near, and only you, and you can't hear me. Now say softly, slowly, hold me closer and tiny dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in sheets of leather. You had a busy day today. Jesus freeze out in the streets, handing tickets out for God, turning back, she just laughed. The boulevard is not that bad. You know me, he makes a stay in the auditorium, looking on. She sings her songs, the words she knows, the tune she holds. Oh, I feel so real, lying here, nobody near, and only you, and you can't hear me when I say softly, slowly, hold me close, young Tony Dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in sheets of leather. You had a busy day today. I said, hold me close, young Tony Dancer. Count the headlights on the highway. Lay me down in sheets of leather. You had a busy day today. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, I see the discussion of Arlington, Texas. Will somebody remind me later after the LoveCast, send me like a text or a private message or something about King of the Hill? I'm always I'm propane and propane accessories. I'm always trying to remember those funny little character voices I developed along the way that I occasionally throw into audiobooks. Like your damn kids whacking off in my tool shed. It's just the boy ain't right. Hey, Joseph Fields. Just in time to hear some discussion about Texas. That would be a really good one. Like, just some minor character, like a waiter or something that has like two lines to the protagonists and then leaves and you never hear him again. And sweet lady propane. I because like sincerely, Hank Hill is one of my favorite characters of all time. Holy shit, he really, yeah. um, well, Zach, you should catch up. I mean, you should watch that show. It's I don't know. When I lived in the Midwest, I didn't find the show funny. It was like it was too close to home to be funny. It wasn't like it was completely lost on me. And I think I lived in California for a while before I not only found the show like hysterical but like insightfully brilliant. And cuz like Hank Hill embodies all the good things about that folksy down home sort of thing. Like he's very traditional, but he's not a racist at all. He's not even a little bit, because that's just wrong. And you like you can really get behind most of the things that he has that really matter to him, that are his core values, and then he'll pull out something that is just so hyperbolic, so Texas suburban that it's like nobody could really be that. No, 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 no. I know somebody that's like that. So yeah, it's just it's brilliant writing. It really is. Welcome, Amanda. Glad you joined us. Um. Okay. So wow, total non sequitur. I'm gonna take you on a little journey of science history, um, because I want you all to know this, to know this name. My mom was just asking something. I don't even remember how the hell this came up today. So there was a guy who, in the early 1900s, was a German scientist named Fritz Haber. Now, Fritz Haber. The funny thing I'm going to tell you about Fritz Haber first is that Fritz Haber won what might have been the most important Nobel Prize of all of the Nobel Prizes ever given in 1918, as I recall. And because it was being awarded to Fritz Haber, two of the other recipients of Nobel Prizes that year would not show up to the awards ceremony and collect their Nobel Prizes out of protest. That's how controversial this cat is, right? This guy, because of the Haber process, or what's usually known as the Haber-Bosch process, this guy came up with something that allowed the maximal allowed cap of the world for the human population to go up by like 4 or 5 billion people from his
invention alone, maybe more than that. Because in the early 1900s, Germany was looking at the same problem that most of the world was, which is we had enough what they called solar energy at the time. There were not solar cells yet, but we're talking about like sun shining on fields that you could plant, right? That's what they meant by solar energy at the time. But could not grow enough food to support their populations because you plant enough crops long enough in the soil, the most of things like wheat will rob the soil of the nitrogen that most of our food staples need to continue on. So Germany was going to starve in a matter of decades, and they weren't the only ones. This was a global human problem. The really frustrating thing about the nitrogen problem is that in the 1800s, people in South America were literally fighting wars over guano. This is batshit. I mean, that sounds batshit crazy, but that's actually the truth because guano is so rich in nitrogen. This is an incredible fertilizer. So at guano's absolute peak value in this time, you could literally get, it was a 4-to-1 ratio. Holy crap. You could sell 1 pound of batshit for 4 pounds of gold. It was 400% the value of gold in a weight comparison sort of unit, right? That's how important this problem was. Fritz Haber comes along, and the frustrating thing is that nitrogen makes up most of our atmosphere. But it's in such a stable configuration in the atmosphere, you can't just like blow air on crops and get it into the soil. It just, like, it doesn't work that way. So Fritz Haber came up with the Haber process, along with this guy named Bosch, who put it on this industrialized scale that could really crank it out in like an assembly line kind of thing. And his invention by itself solved world hunger in that era because all of a sudden they could synthesize ammonia, which is very nitrogen rich. Now, this is all pre-World War I. To give you another insight onto Fritz Haber, the guy was like, he was an all right cat. Like, this is not a Nazi. This guy is way before Nazis. In fact, he was actually Jewish. When Einstein was going through his first divorce, he went and stayed with Fritz Haber. I don't know if he slept on the couch or what, but he literally slept at Fritz Haber's place just to like kind of clear out and get out, right? And so Fritz Haber later on, going into World War I, was already working on this problem for how can we feed Germany. And they also had the similar problem of they were running short on ammunition and gunpowder. And a lot of World War I, this is how Mom's question came up. A lot of World War I was trench warfare. And the Germans were running out of explosives, didn't have enough bullets, didn't have enough gunpowder, didn't have explosives that could make it into the trenches, and that's why they were in real trouble. So Fritz Haber says, I'm going to come up with a gas weapon that is heavier than air, that will flow out across the battlefield and sink into those trenches and just wipe out all carbon-based forms of life when we release the tanks. And he invented chlorine gas as the first devastatingly effective chemical weapon seen in modern warfare. So the same guy whose invention killed tens of thousands of people also invented through chemistry the same a process that allowed billions of humans to live. And then, much to his own chagrin, so this was going into World War One. That's very important. Haber, I think I mentioned earlier, was Jewish. Now, he didn't actually believe, very much like Einstein, he didn't actually believe in the religious part of any of it. That was just, he was of Jewish heritage. And like so many other Jewish scientists of his time who also didn't believe in anything supernatural or divine or whatever, they just kind of like converted to Lutheranism so that they could continue to be productive scientists for Germany, right? So it's like, fine, whatever, I'll do the hokey pokey in this different flavor if that means that I can continue being a productive citizen for Father Germany. And in this time of living and being a productive scientist and just trying to make Germany stronger, he comes up with an insecticide called Zyklon. Now, it was later retroactively named Zyklon A. And it was largely used as like a delousing agent. You could like pipe it into rooms of clothes and it'll delouse all the clothes and then just let it air out. And now you've got like completely closed clothes that are just like completely free of any sort of pests, lice, or any other things that are going to be parasitic and bite people. And much to this guy's chagrin, see, this was an odorless gas, so much like modern fossil fuels, much like modern natural gas, the same way that our local our local gas companies, they put in a natural they put in a chemical to make natural gas smell bad to us, so that we know if you smell that, get out of the room, call somebody. Zyklon had a smell agent added in. So when the Nazis came into power in the early 30s, one of the first things that they did was pass this rule saying anyone who was Jewish has to immediately get out, including all the scientists, unless they in some way contributed to World War I. So Fritz Haber himself had this exemption where he could have stayed, but his priority was to get jobs for everybody that worked underneath him in all of his laboratories, to get alternate jobs, all the Jews, the Jewish scientists. And then he himself said, fuck you, I'm out. I don't even believe in any of this religious mumbo jumbo. You're going to hold against me not even a belief system. At this point, you're going to hold against me who my grandparents were after I renounced my belief system just to be nothing other than a productive citizen for Father Germany. And so he got out as well. And when they took out that little smelly agent from his other gas invention, Zyklon A, that became Zyklon B. And that was the gas that was used in the concentration camps. And it actually ended up killing some of his direct family members who did not get out of Nazi Germany in time. It's an interesting character, Fritz Haber. I don't know. I just wanted you to all know who that person was. I don't know if this is a good guy or a bad guy of history. It's been said before now that science is not necessarily good nor bad. It's just right. So I'm going to leave you all with one more song and then cut out. I think I was thinking about this song in the same time I was thinking about Love Song by The Cure. So written by Prince originally. This is Nothing Compares to You.
It's been 7 hours and 15 days since you took your love away. I go out every night and sleep all day since you took your love away. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see you wherever I choose. I can eat my dinner in a fancy restaurant, but nothing can take away these blues. 'Cause nothing compares to you. It's been so lonely without you, like a bird without a song. Nothing can stop these lonely tears from falling. Tell me, baby, where did I go wrong? I could put my arm around every girl I see, but it only remind me of you. Went to the doctor, guess what he told me? Said, boy, you better try to have fun, no matter what you do. But he's a fool, 'cause nothing compares to you. Flowers that you planted, mama, in the bay, only died when you went away. I know they're living with me, baby, sometime, but I'm willing to give it another try. 'Cause nothing compares, nothing compares to you. Said nothing compares, nothing compares to you, to you, to you. All right. So thank you all very much for joining us. I'm going to repeat earlier's announcement. LoveCast 141 will be 2 weeks from now. So no LoveCast next week. I'm going to be preparing for the Paulie's ocean cruise. Thank you, Miss Charity Swanson. That's very sweet. As always, throw something into the tip jar if you're feeling so generous and so inclined. And thank you for joining us. Trying to make the world a better place for having you in it. I love you all. Good night.